I'm Tishauna Mullings from the parish of St. Thomas, IBI ambassador since 2013, a lover of community work and community development, all which has now evolved into a social enterprise where I don't have to separate passion from making profit. Upon becoming an IBI ambassador, I realized that it was about sharing value. So I had value to share with the IBI program, and the IBI program had value to offer to me. And that's how it was introduced to me by Mr. Glenford Smith, who is also an IBI ambassador and a part of the coordinating committee. So when I met him, it was through his writings in the Gleaner. And I had just left college, was not sure what to do next. And what he wrote at that time really spoke to me. So I wrote a very lengthy testimonial suggesting how much help I had received from the article. And he was so moved by it that he decided that he wanted to meet me personally. Upon meeting him personally, he shared with me about the IBI movement, and that moved something inside of me. He said it was about symbiotically sharing, and that is what I've come to know the IBI program to be. So the Governor General has extended himself through persons that he has identified as ambassadors based on the work they're doing in the community and what they already represent in their course of work, vocation, etc. So here's now the Governor General of Jamaica extending himself in every community, in every parish, through ambassadors, understanding that making any real change is not about any one person. And that has been really inspirational for me, because as an individual, I've grown by standing on the shoulders of others who have seen greatness in me. Recently, just this week, I received an award from USAID and the JN Foundation for Rural Regeneration. Now, when I became an IBI ambassador, I didn't know these fancy terms. I just knew that I wanted to give back. But the IBI program gave me a platform that allowed me to gain respect, a platform that carried clout. So when I go into settings and I'm trying to do projects and I say I'm an IBI ambassador, this carries so much clout that gives me immediate respect, sponsorship, whatever I was looking for. And this remained the same, not only on the national stage, but regionally and internationally. Because when I went to Scotland some years ago, I remember in positioning my application, when I noted that I was an IBI ambassador, and this program is run by the Governor General of Jamaica, it was almost with immediacy that I got through and I was able to represent my country in Scotland. And not only in countries that are British oriented, but also I went to Ethiopia, I went to Scotland, not Scotland, let me just pick up back from here. I went to Ethiopia and I also went to Morocco. When I wrote my application to attend these conferences, I only wanted to attend, to learn. However, when they saw my profile, a part of which being an IBI ambassador is, they invited me to become a speaker. And I was able to go to these countries, represent Jamaica, represent the IBI Leave Initiative, and really spread the mission beyond our shores. In the parish of St. Thomas, we face a lot of rural stereotypes, like any other rural place, but St. Thomas itself comes with a lot of historically based stereotypes, culturally based stereotypes, which have personally affected me negatively as an individual. And then when I looked around me in my community, I saw that a lot of other young people were being affected in the same way. Now, it was when I was on the Barack Obama program, I met a professor who defined what I was doing for me. He said, "You're a positive deviant." When I spoke about my work that I did with the IBI movement and how I brought that into my parish, he said, "You're a positive deviant. You looked at the negative and you decided there's something positive I can do about this that will not only transform my life, but the lives of the young people around me. And the true spirit of volunteerism and community development for me came out of the IBI movement. Like I had this idea, but a platform to empower me to really move and to do stuff. That was the IBI movement for me. And I got the Governor General Award. Following that, I got the Prime Minister's Award. I got the Butch Stewart Award. So the IBI movement created a platform that just allowed me to keep getting awards and keep doing the work. And it wasn't just about the awards. It was about the work and the pillars of the IBI movement upon which my work is predicated. Now, from doing community work, I was introduced to social enterprise and social entrepreneurship, these concepts. So today, I run a social enterprise called Next Step Lifelong Educational Services, which brings together all the work that I've been doing in the community in a business context. But for social enterprise, it's about purpose and profit. So we look at a triple bottom line that has to do with planet, people, and profit. So we're engaging young people who are part of the HOPE program, the Heart Trust program, previously National Youth Service. So we have employed and engaged over 200 youths in St. Thomas, and the numbers continue to grow. So we're giving them training and work experience. We also have programs that are educationally based. So we partner with teachers to provide tutoring so that students can do well in their CSEC exams and in the now PEP exams. So it's enormous work.
I know you had some involvement with agriculture.
Yes.
Do I have that right or do I have that wrong? Clarify that for me.
So my professional life officially started at St. Thomas Credit Union. So I went there on an Inter-American Development Bank project, and that was about financial inclusion for farmers. Both areas were new for me in terms of financial inclusion and also agriculture, because I was coming into that space with a psychology degree and a business minor. But I like diversity, so I embraced it, and it involved community work. And I got that job on the heels of becoming an IBI ambassador. So it all came together for me. And so I entered the National Farm Queen competition, and I won. I just entered because I wanted to learn, but I won. And I remembered when we had a courtesy call, we went to King's House and met with His Excellency there. And of course, you know, being an IBI ambassador, I could feel a sense of pride and joy. He embraced all the ladies from all the other parishes, but I felt a special pride and joy. And that is something that I often feel. You know, he's the Governor General, but you feel loved and embraced, and he's connected with what you're doing in the community. So it's not just for the sake of saying, here's this project, but he's really involved at the heart level. So yeah, that's how agriculture came to be a part of community development and how it all connects to the IBI program. As a woman of God, everything that I do, I depend upon God's strength. And having lived a life where I had a lot of struggles, I spoke about rural stereotypes. When I was younger in my teenage years, I struggled with issues of self-worth. So when I overcame that, it was with a decision that I'm tired of living an ordinary life, literally living in a dungeon inside of myself. And just that desire to escape that really resulted in me just doing everything that I could to find purpose. When I found purpose, it was so, it was such a revival, so to speak, that I wanted to share this with everybody that I met. And based on what I went through, I didn't want to see the young people around me go through that. So that developed into a feverish drive, like a fire, to just transform everybody that comes into my space, especially the young. So it started in volunteerism. And as I volunteered and I had a 9-to-5 and I was helping the farmers, young farmers and so on, I realized that I wanted to spend my life doing this. So that is how I became a social entrepreneur, because I really wanted to serve the community, but I have to survive, I have to live as well. So it was really a revolution when I realized that here is a platform that will allow me to do both. And now being powered by the IBI movement, it all comes together in a phenomenal way. Mommy and daddy has always been in my life, but you know, they helped as much as they knew how to. It got to a point where I needed more help to really get to where I wanted to go to in terms of career, in terms of personal growth. So my mom being a higgler, she did everything that she could to support me. I went straight through university without student loan, and my mom is a higgler. And for me, that was really impressive. And that's one of the things that drives the entrepreneurial spirit in me. My daddy was a carpenter. At one point, he was a bus driver. So they're always just doing everything that they can to pour as much as they could into me. And at the point where they did all they could, luckily, I would have met Glenford Smith, who would have introduced me to the IBI movement. So right at that point, I came out of college and I needed personal growth and transformation and progress. And that is what the I Believe movement brought to me at that point.